Greetings and salutations, my name is JW608. Today I am playing Starmade, and we are in our really big new project. I want to use a new reactor. And we're going to take this one step at a time, so we're going to use reactors. Alright, reactors, and I need to go purge the old reactor that I was using for testing. Oh, that's real handy. If you ever have a stray reactor block, put a reactor in your hand, and it highlights it for you. Where did I put this thing? Oh, no, stop that. Ah, there it is. That's what, a 5x5x5? 5x5x5. And remove mode, you could set up to do remove only. Well, we'll do a refit sometime. I'll show you how that works. But right now we're assuming your brand new ship has nothing in it at all. So you're not doing a refit, you have a clean reactor. Okay, reactor blocks 0. You don't have this thing when you go into advanced build mode, holding down left control, click stats, and it should pop this up. If you don't see it, you could also do under the right one, under display, structure info. If you tick that, it'll bring this. So, reactor blocks, there are no reactor blocks, there are no stabilizer groups, no conduct chamber, no conduits, no integrity, no recharge, nothing. Although it is using 4,000 energy per second. Well, it's not, because there's actually nothing there. But anyway, but I've already worked out how much power I want. I would like a reactor that provides 8 million power or energy per second. Why would you want 8 million? No, I don't. That is a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. I want 10 million energy per second. I hear you say, why would you want 10 million energy per second? Because I saw Langcake was working on a ship that had 8 million. That's why the number 8 came into my mind. And I wanted one bigger. So, I said, alright, so what do I need to do to get 10 million power? So I popped down a single block. A single block gives you 100 energy recharge. 200, 400, because I have 4 blocks. Amazing, isn't it? Now, it is not like the old days, so you don't have to line them up in rows. In fact, this is now bad. See how that's yellow and that's not? That's because those are two different reactors now. Now, the reactor blocks must touch, and you don't have to do these weird shapes anymore. Like, this is no longer more efficient than that. It's just straight the number of reactor blocks. And it is so much easier than the old way. So, everyone puts down 100 recharge. So I said, okay, so I want 10 million. So it's 10 million divided by 100. So I broke out a spreadsheet. I'm not going to show it because it's... Anyway, I'm not going to show it, but 10 million divided by 100 is it 100,000? 100,000. Yeah, 100,000. So then I typed into Google, what's the cubed root of 100,000? It said 46.41588833361. Why would you want the cubed root? Well, if I get the cubed root, I know if I have a cube that's 46.4158 by the same, I will get 100,000 blocks in it, and that will give me my 10 million power. So, let's see if we can do something like that. Except I tinkered with it a bit, and I found I can get away with a 59 by 40. Actually, I'll probably go 60. Yeah, that's odd. So let's do a 59 by 40 by 45. This will actually get me 106,200 blocks, and that is enormous. And I also do not do that. Unless you have like some sort of super duper computer. Otherwise your computer's gonna go, oh, no. And especially since I'm recording, I'm not gonna do that. What'd you say? We're gonna play with that a bit. We're gonna go down to 25. Why 25? Alright, 26. Why 26? Because I have symmetry mode on. When I put down 1, it's gonna put down half on the other side. Hey! So let's get a little more ambitious. Let's do 5, so 4. And why is that? Hold up. What have I done? Like that. Okay. That's 4. Come on. Alright, now let's do 5 because I don't have to worry about the 1. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and I'm gonna do 50 just because. Alright, so I have this enormous power block. In fact, this, I don't know when this was added. Someone told me it was more recent, or not as recent as I thought. When you hover your mouse over something, oh, by the way, my display might look a little different than yours because I don't have all the HUD pop-up stuff because I think it's irritating. Anyway, you'll notice that the power reactor size is 102,000 reactor power size. That's the amount of blocks in it. So this should be giving me 10,200,000 energy per second. So let's find that beautiful, beautiful number. Recharge energy per second, 4,000. You might be saying, oh no, the game is broken. What's gone wrong? No, the game is not broken. This is one of the new features of the power update. I keep trying to deselect that. I just need to get that out of my hand. Reactors are in and of themselves are not particularly stable. You'll notice we have stabilization at 0%. In order to get the most out of a reactor, it has to be stable. At least 30% of it has to be stable to get 100% of efficiency out of a reactor. But, alright, you got these blocks, reactor stabilizers. Okay, let's put a chunk of them right here. Just right there. Oh, wow, look at there. Notice a few things. See. This, I call this the power sausage. I think it's like an energy stream or something like that. Not my favorite feature of the game, but it connects the power to stabilizers, and you can route it. In fact, we will be doing some routing of our own, but it needs stabilization, and the further away the stabilizers are from the reactor, the more efficient they are. See how those are red? If I go all the way back here, and pop these down, notice they're less red. And we actually have stabilization now at 0.1%. In fact, that's suggesting 900 meters out to get full efficiency of the stabilization. There's some tricks to getting around that, but we're going to talk more about stabilizers next time, I think. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself with distance and all that. But know that the reactor blocks in and of themselves are not stable. You can get them up to 4,000 energy per second without needing any stabilizers. Just throw reactor blocks at it until it hits that. But it's not going to go above 3,000 without stabilizers. You also notice stabilization 0%. We'll get more into that later. But this, once it's fully stabilized, or once it's 30% stabilized, should produce the reactor power size times 100. So 10,200,000 is the number it should be producing once we get this thing stabilized. Now, do you need a reactor this big? Probably not. Even for this ship, that's probably like super duper way overkill. But if you're asking them why are you doing it, you probably have not been on this channel very, very long. So there ain't no kill like overkill. I love some good overkill. I've been known to destroy planets to mine them because why not? And I don't have to fool with gravity and lag and all that. So there we go. That is the reactor we're going to be using. Could you do this in a different shape? Sure. Now, something you're going to have to think about is integrity. Integrity is not a feature, another one I'm not a tremendous fan of, but integrity it's to prevent spaghetti ships. Placing blocks, they have system integrity. Let's see how best I can explain this. You get a starting of, I believe, after the update, it's 400 integrity points. And for every block of a system you place that it does not have the block of the same system touching it, every face of the block you get -6. But every face touching you get I think it's -6. Alright. Where'd it go? There used to be a introduction, basic controls. No? Okay. I think it's -6. Don't quote me on that. There used to be a thing in game to show that. It's under helps and tips. No, it's not under hotbar. Oh, cool! You can save hotbar layouts. That's fairly new. And ignore that then. But integrity, if you have low integrity, example, I have 184,000 integrity. So I have absolutely no problem. If you have low integrity, then if this gets shot, it might explode violently. And integrity, for the most part, is not something you're going to have to worry about unless you're making, like, enormous skinny reactors or things like that. Even then, don't worry too much about them. We'll probably get more into integrity in a different video. But for now, any decently sized reactor that's in a block, or even a longish, tube-ish thing, is not going to really be hurt by integrity, or the lack thereof. I think primarily it's once you get into refits that's going to be interesting. But as I said, we'll get into integrity later on. I wanted this one to be primarily about the reactor itself. And, oh yes, you can have multiple reactors. For example, you have this reactor, then this single block here is another reactor. And you can look at your reactors by going to Ship, Reactor, holding down the tab button brings up that pop-up thing. And this reactor is a size of 102,000. It's a size levels 37, and that's chamber size. We'll get to chambers and all that. Or you can switch reactors. So right now we're using the Great Big Reactor. Switch reactor. This one's reactor size 1. Switched it. Now notice that this great big one turned yellow and this one turned bluish, purplyish when you're holding a power block. That's because the ship says, I'm not using this reactor. Now we're using this single reactor. So now we aren't getting the benefit of this one. We're getting the benefit of this one. So it's absolutely silly to have a single reactor, a single block reactor. But if you want to have a backup reactor, that's fine. You go ahead and build it. Now you're going to have to keep in mind stabilization, but again, we'll talk about that next time. So you got this big reactor. You can have 2 big reactors. I think for this ship, I'm going to leave it with 1 reactor. My battleship I had been testing with, it had 2 reactors, but I never used the second one. Because in battle, it's cumbersome to swap them, and I don't really have a need to. What is that? Oh. I keep seeing this indicator. It's that asteroid over there. Or rock. I can't even smell what it's cooking. Anywho. Well, before I ramble on too much, this is the basics of reactors. Next time we're going to look at the tricky part of the whole setup, which is stabilization. And I will see you next time.